What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and just like what we did with Black Widow, we want to see how good Black Bolt is, especially since you can choose him for the tier 3 selector. And we're just going to shorten these first two runs. I don't want to make this video too long, but we're going to be doing two stage 99s, one against Cull, one against Ebony, and we're going to be using Dr. Voodoo's leadership for these runs because Dr. Voodoo has that 40% increase of all debuff effect, and since Black Bolt has that all defense down that goes up to 70% on his tier 3, that's actually going to put his all defense down up to 98%. And Black Bolt, I really feel, is a super underrated character. I don't know why, but some people just seem to think that he isn't that strong, but actually is. I have 4% pierce in my cards. This Black Bolt with his leadership has 50% energy attack. I do have about 96-97% energy attack on my cards. He has a full stat build. He has max attack speed, max critical rate, critical damage, max ignore defense, max dodge, max skill cooldown. Everything's maxed out. He has no Odin's blessings, but he does have mythic energy attack Urus on him, and the rest of his Urus are 5-star. And Black Bolt really is an insane character. You know, the tier 3 gives him ignore target dodge rate about 45%, which is really useful against Null. He has penetration, he has 9-second invincibility on. He has increased damage proc by 35% on the tier 3. The bad thing about his tier 3 is sometimes if Null's doing his purple attack, his tier 3 isn't an iframe, so he's just kind of flying up in the air, and he can actually still get hit. So that is one thing that does kind of suck about him, but he does have paralysis on the 5th skill, where if you use the 5th skill, he does that stomp and he paralyzes them. He actually takes Cull out of his cleanse and really keeps characters locked down, which gives him a nice form of CC. And check this out, guys. Boom, we got 1 minute and 8 seconds left, stage 99. Now let's see what he can do against Ebony. So this is stage 99 Ebony, and we are using the exact same team. We also have Medusa for the 45% damage to supervillains as long as it's with inhuman allies. And Black Bolt, you know, again, because of that paralysis on his 5th skill, he really can keep Ebony locked down, which is actually really nice. And he absolutely murder this. Black Bolt can also do one-shots, but I just wanted to show him running through these stages just, you know, as you go, not doing any cheeky stuff, just throwing up a team and just destroying. And with 4% pierce, he does amazing. Seriously, this guy actually has 25% chain hit damage in his passive, which is awesome. And I do have a CTP of Rage, and that's kind of a crux of the character in a way, right? You need a CTP of Rage to really optimize him. He can play with the proc. His cooldowns are low enough, but you got to hit the 5th skill, and you got to let it play out a little bit. You got to let the screen kind of zoom in before you can hit it. And a lot of times the 5th skill, because it does hits, it'll actually trigger your proc early, and you want the proc on the 5th skill, but you also want the damage accumulation from the 3rd skill, and you want the attack buffs from the 5th skill also. You got a 40% attack buff on that 5th skill, and boom, minute 47 seconds left against 99 Ebony. Now let's go for one of the big boys. So this run actually surprised me quite a bit. This is stage 8 against Mephisto. Stage 8, my friends. And I don't have any type enhancement on Black Bolt. If I did, I'd actually be able to do a little bit more damage. Might have even been able to do stage 9. And I am using Valkyrie. I am using Medusa, right, for the damage dealt to supervillains. And if you notice on my strikers, I don't have any movement speed strikers. Black Bolt is actually pretty damn fast, but again, just like what we did with Black Widow, Valkyrie is just super fast character. You can always just switch to her whenever Mephisto's in those phases where he's slamming down when he's a big monster. And something that's actually nice, and I didn't even mention in the regular World Boss runs, is, you know, Black Bolt on his all defense down on his 4th skill only goes up to 50%. So you really want to apply the tier 3's all defense down first, but the all defense down from the 4th skill only lasts for 6 seconds. So that's something to keep in mind. But against Mephisto and Null, you just don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about hitting the 4th skill before the tier 3 or hitting the tier 3 before the 4th skill, which is nice because all defense down doesn't apply. And the fact that this guy has so much damage, and by the way, something else to mention about Black Bolt that's very unique to him, well, not quite unique, Null has the same thing, is he has the remove all debuff passive on a 20-second cooldown that lasts for 5 seconds. And this is actually very important for Black Bolt. Sometimes when he's in danger and he has that remove all debuff up, he can get out of it. Whenever Mephisto's a giant monster and he's trying to stun you, if that remove all debuff is on cooldown, Black Bolt can actually get away from it. He also has a heal on his fifth skill on top of the crit rate buff by 40%. I mean, he's just a massive character. And, you know, and initially when I saw this guy, when he first showed up in the game, I was a little disappointed in the damage accumulation because it was a damage accumulation of 0.7% increase of all attack, where I'd really prefer to see plus 1%. But honestly, man, he's super strong. And I do think he's someone that some of you players should really consider. If you don't have Black Bolt, you should really consider, you know, picking him up for the tier 3 selector, because he really is an insane character, and I think he's super undervalued. This is a character before I even had any Pierce on my cards. I had 83% energy attack on my cards before I put Pierce on them, before I crafted them. And Black Bolt with Medusa on the team, no other support, could actually get a clear against Null stage 2. Now I know that's not that high, but for you early on players, you newer players, that is something to think about. If you have enough energy attack, he definitely is going to be able to do it. But unfortunately, you're probably going to need a CTB of Rage to be able to do it. And I can play super, super aggressive. Now, I do have Venom in there for heals. In all honesty, you really don't need Venom for those heals. But I want to play super, super aggressive to pour as much damage as I can on Mephisto. And that's why I got those heals in there. So like right in this phase here, if you're using Black Bolt and that remove all debuff isn't on cooldown, then whenever Mephisto hits you, it will take effect. And then the stun won't apply and you actually get out of danger. It's actually freaking amazing. But whenever you're using his tier 3, you definitely don't want, unless his remove all debuff is on cooldown, then you don't want to use the tier 3. If it isn't on cooldown and then it could take effect when you use your tier 3, then maybe you could use your tier 3. It's kind of confusing. I mean, the remove all debuff does have a 20-second cooldown, so it's actually going to proc quite often. And look how aggressive I'm playing. Look at this. You know, purple attack showing up. I'm just going in there and going balls to the wall and attacking. Run around, run around, run around. Boom. I mean, this really did surprise me. Honestly, stage 8 against Mephisto is pretty damn amazing, if you ask me. I was blown away, and we're doing all the damage is done by Black Bolt. Pick this up, and you just want to start with that 3, hit the 5, let the 5 zoom out, then hit the 4, and then the tier 3. I mean, look at him. Look at that damage. Slam. And see what I mean? We went in and threw in a couple other extra attacks there with Black Bolt. I mean, the king of Adelan gets it done, my friends. He gets it done. Dude is impressive, seriously. And so many people think that he just isn't that good. I don't know why people think this thing about Black Bolt. He's actually freaking amazing. And yeah, I don't use him anymore for my clears, but I'm also using, you know, Cable, Odin, Moonstone, Sharon Rogers, super, super OP characters, right? But Black Bolt, seriously, I mean, for that tier 3 selector to get for free is really an insane character. So you see we only had 7 seconds left. Again, if my type enhancement would have been up, I think maybe I would have been able to do stage 9. Now let's take on the big boy. So this is stage 9 against Null. Stage 9. And to put things in perspective, I do stage 9 clears every single day with Odin, with a Rage, and I use Medusa as a lead, and I use Mystique as a support. So he has a damage dealt super villain support, and he does have a leadership. Now, that really puts things in perspective. And yes, Odin is much stronger than Black Bolt, for sure. But it just shows you how strong Black Bolt is. Stage 9, and by the way, when I'm playing with Odin, I usually clear the stage with about a minute left. So you'll see how fast Black Bolt actually does this. And I will use Valkyrie from time to time to do a little extra damage, because we are kind of pushing the envelope here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And another thing nice about Black Bolt is whenever you do his third skill, it is an iframe. So whenever Null is slamming his sword down, then you can actually just do the third skill to avoid getting hit. And the fact that he has a damage accumulation based on how much damage you deal means you don't have to worry about taking damage. And there we just kind of ran away from the symbiote cage. Boom, let's go, let's go. I mean, look at the damage he does to that tier 3. Not too shabby, my friends. Bars start coming off with this guy. I mean, even when you hit that 5th skill and 4th skill, and that's something you want to make sure that you do with Black Bolt, is you always want to make sure that the 5th skill, when you're using it, it does zoom out. If it doesn't zoom out, there it got canceled, but if it does zoom out, you're going to do a lot more damage. You're going to get that wind bubble, is what I would call it, whenever he's screaming out, at the same time when you're doing the 4th skill. That bubble that you just saw there, that echo bubble. Come on, buddy. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and use Valkyrie. We're just going to do a little damage with her. Oh, yeah. Get it, get it, get it. Really shocked me, in all honesty. I actually even kind of underestimated Black Bolt myself, because I really didn't think he could do stage 9. I really didn't. Even with 4% Pierce, I honestly didn't think he could do it. I think he was been around stage 7 maybe with a max team, but wow, stage 9? Wow. It's pretty freaking cool, guys. It's pretty freaking cool. And again, even if you don't have Pierce, if you do have enough energy attack, you do have a rage, you do have him built well. I mean, I do have a mythic uniform. I do have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set. He is built pretty well. I mean, no Odin's blessings, but I do have mythic gurus, and I am running 96% energy attack. And before, when I had 83% energy attack, I could do stage 2 clears against Null with only Medusa on the team. And here you notice I'm not even using Medusa as a damage dealer. So even if you have Medusa on the team and you got her built up, then she, whenever you're switching, whenever Null is doing the symbiote cage, or whenever you're switching, whenever you're in danger, you can just use Medusa and do a ton of damage, because she's super freaking strong too. They have great synergy, which is awesome. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. And notice I'm not using anti-venom here. I am using 2 ignore dodge strikers, and I do have Valkyrie for the 30% ignore dodge. So we do have a total of 70% ignore dodge, which is enough in all honesty. Really, I prefer having 90 or 100%, but 70% is enough. We are getting it done. We are missing some attacks because Null is dodging some of our attacks, but as you can see, we're still going to be able to plow through this. All right, so remember again, when I would use Odin, right, stage 9, and I'm using Medusa for a leadership, and I'm using Mystique on the team, I'd have about a minute left on those runs. On the average, it really depends. If I have a really good run, it might be a little bit faster than that, but on the average, about a minute left. And we're running up on that minute left right now. Come on, here we go. And again, I'm not saying that Black Bolt's as strong as Odin. He is obviously not. But the fact that he is actually comparable somewhat, at least a little bit, in his damage to Odin is pretty impressive. And then you have that invincibility on that 5th skill. And then you have the invincibility on the tier 3. Now, I had to go ahead and switch my character because we were taking a lot of damage. In this high level, you really take a lot of damage. So we're just going to go ahead and use Valkyrie to do a little bit of damage here. Make sure we get this clear. And by the way, guys, all these runs that you're watching, it took me 1 or 2 tries. That's it. And look at that, 30 seconds left. So he did this, with a max team, on the average about 30 seconds less. There's always variables in there. I mean, maybe if I have a really good run with Odin, it's going to be faster than 4 minutes. But on the average, about 4 minutes with Odin. He did it 30 seconds slower. So that just shows you the power of Black Bolt. So if any of you are considering tier 3 in Black Bolt, I think he's actually a really good candidate. But again, he's going to be optimal with a CTP of Rage. Obviously, if you're running a proc, I'd probably have to drop these stages about 2 or 3 stages, more than likely. Maybe 4, but I think around 3 stages would be a good assessment of if you're using a CTP of energy on him, because then you'd actually get extra chain hit damage on top of the chain hit damage he already has. So let me know how y'all feeling about Black Bolt tearing it up. And I stream on Twitch at Reset Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.